And just like that. And just like that. Just like that, we start the show.
Yeah.
We are live. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Just do the mic thing.
Your mic thing.
Is that how you want to start? That's how you
Are we
want
still waiting?
Yeah,
Wait.
no, you're good.
Okay.
I was just giving you a look.
We're
Well,
staggering here into the daylight.
Yeah.
I'll believe
8:30
you.
in the fucking morning.
Yeah, Ian. Next time, let's do 6:30.
Why my new health regime, I've feel brighter, wake up with the dawn, and I swim in ice cold waters, guys.
Why do I have to suffer for you trying to fix your mistakes?
Nice.
Why can't you just accept things?
Well, I like to balance things out. I'll do a few reps and then I'll light a cigarette. I'll smoke at the side of the
I do 5 reps and I hit a turpentine and then we take it from there.
I mean, listen, after I do my crunches and abs, I do whippets, but it's just because it helps me push through.
And I'm posting that we are live.
Well, when you do
On
that
the
before?
socials.
I mean, yes, I would do whippets
No, because
before.
you weren't live. Oh, you mean
Whippets? Well, both. We need to post that we're live so they can see us do the whippets.
Oh.
And then we all listen to King Crimson for 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Have we all ever boofed?
We all ever what?
Boofed.
Boof?
I'm not familiar with boofing.
No, you never boofed?
I
Chris,
don't think
wouldn't
I
be
have.
alive if he boofed.
What about butt chugging?
Okay, I'm aware of this, but no, I have not done this.
Why not?
Okay, well, boofing's like
Why not? What, you do good? You do good?
Butt chugging is alcohol related. It's the same act, just like different substance up there, you know?
Oh, okay.
Boofing is everything else. Butt chugging is alcohol.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Has anybody else seen the one of my favorite clips from I think it was a Cal State LA student who like got in an accident, and then they had to hire this great lawyer to come out and do a public statement about butt chugging.
Yeah,
and he has to say it like 6 or 7 times because it's pretty integral to the story of what happened to his client. That this very serious man in a very serious suit has to look at all the press and keep referring to the butt chug, and every time it gets a little harder for him. Here it is again. The butt chugging.
You ever think there was? I wish there was a point during that interview too, where he says and he goes, "Yeah, that's what that was." All right, and then
I just want him to like slightly tear up and look to the side and say, "Can I say something else? Can I say a different thing, please?"
I want to talk. Welcome to this podcast, Storytellers. Am I wearing my basketball shorts backwards? Is that what's going on?
It's that time of year.
Is this another tired podcast?
Yeah, well, Ian refuses to work with our schedule. So,
he's really enjoying showboating a little bit.
I hate how much energy you have right now. I want it to stop Oh, my page is all fucked up.
It's absolutely deranged. I think it's partially from the working with kids as well. Just that like all of my energy is at the top of the day, and it just winds down as it goes on.
I'm like a really old John Deere tractor. I need a.
What the fuck?
You need to chug along
forever.
for a while.
Yeah, it takes forever for me to rev up.
What, holy shit! When that engine gets going, that thing's gonna
I can haul.
Yeah, Chris. So you're hauling? Is that what you're saying?
No, not yet.
We're chugging. We're getting to hauling. We're chugging to hauling.
I be hauling.
We talked a little bit about what we'd been doing with the month, but I don't know who's feeling like they're ready to jump in first.
I need a build up.
Do that. All right,
go for it.
So I've been reading through this history book. I think I had mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned on the record, but it's called The 90s by Chuck Klosterman. I might have mentioned it on the pod.
30 years ago.
Yeah, that was forever ago, man.
When I was 5, that was like if it was the 70s.
It was genuinely just a watch that your father had passed down.
Yeah.
But the book actually kind of got me back into looking back at some artifacts of the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing I wanted to mention was Body Count, that I've been listening to a bunch of.
They're back too.
They are back.
Yeah, they're performing again apparently, which kind of tripped me out. But here I listened to their first 2 albums back to back, which was their self-titled album, and then I think it's Born to Kill was the second one. And I don't know. It was really simple, but such satisfying. Like, yeah, this is good. This is good stuff. This is great.
Those first albums are really good.
I think that the self-titled album is a little bit stronger than the second album. They're kind of the sequel album felt to me a little bit more like how a studio structures a sequel, in that it's do that thing but like more. What if you did this but like a bigger version of this? But the kind of pared down very it feels like very gritty, those recordings. Like they feel kind of like the equipment is kind of crackly and stuff like that. But it's great for the experience of listening to. I think like that's a part of it.
Okay.
And
welcome to Body Count. Body Count's great. So like,
they're really good, guys.
Glad you like them.
Yeah. You do have to go out of your way to find the one track that they took off in 1992. But it's worth it. It's worth it. They did have a track in 1991 called Cop Killer.
I didn't know they. I mean, that's their most famous track, but I didn't know they took it off the album.
They re-released the album with a remix of one of his raps that he had released earlier called "Freedom of Speech," and that's they funny. Had like rockabye.
That's really funny.
That's exactly when he left his the studio. Essentially, was over that he had written it, and he felt like they were basically acquiescing to the LAPD. Pressuring them, and this is also, of course, all happening right after the Rodney King video has just been released. So, holy shit! Like as a band, awesome. As a historical moment, like also in that context from the book, is like, oh wow, fucking unparalleled, amazing.
I'm actually super surprised. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
No, so it's super important, like to say the least. on the era, but in general of like the musical movements that were happening for punk and grunge, like moving from coast to coast in the US. Yeah, it's I see he's just one of I mean now he's like when he came back with Body Count, now it's in the context of these new movements in music of because one of his latest songs with them was a song called No Lives Matter, and it was pretty much the same message of that sort of just rebellion of like I don't know, embracing that sort of nihilism, but at the same time like finding a community of like expressing like the helplessness. That was really dope, and like it's super important.
That's man, and I mean that is also like one thing that really hit for me because I have one other album I'm gonna mention in a minute, but like the work that Body Count is doing is so innately political. Like no matter kind of everything that they touch has that in it.
No, it's
like,
nice tea.
And yeah, exactly. Like, and to also think like just to make a comment about, dude, how much work was this guy doing at this time? Like,
movies, TV shows,
doing movies, TV shows. He's doing NWA. He's doing Body Count. He's doing self-released like solo album. Like, Jesus,
he's playing a lot of Resident Evil.
He's playing a lot
of Resident Evil at this time.
What a crate! Like, yeah, I looked at his discography at this time just to kind of get prepared for it, and like, holy shit, it's crazy. It like in that span from 1990 to 1995, he's doing like 5 albums, 6 albums in that period. It's crazy. Crazy. The other album I ended up listening to. Well, I'll mention it briefly. I also re-listened to All Eyes on Me, but like, it's a classic. There's nothing to. I say it just like, what am I gonna say about it? It's really good.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. What's to tell you that you haven't heard? But
All Eyes on Me, good album. Hot take from Ian. Ian, what?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can.
I got it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like you can even like tie two together around that time because in terms of like the mentality of like challenging a lot of the music at the time, from the 70s and 80s, like pop music was starting to become like commercialized more and more. So like from each decade moving forward, it's like as like there's more they're getting commercialized for each structure of the pop song. Then there slowly was also this uptick of they call it grunge and punk, but I always call it like at the end it's inherently metal. It's inherently like just an expression of like just political, but also like just
shit. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's cool. Like you can sort of like find that connection because that's what Ice-T was carrying both with Body Count and also, like you said, with NWA and that scene.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that ran throughout kind of his body of work, definitely, as being. I think that's just present in him as an artist, definitely in what he touches. I was then going to like mention this like album that doesn't have any depth to it, and is just like a fun time. With mentioning the band that was under an obscenity trial called the 2 Live Crew, As Nasty as They Want to Be. And I listened to As Nasty as They Want to Be to try and get context for what was the most shocking album at that time to people. And it's really it's just boner talk. That's the most shocking thing.
Oh yeah.
That Americans had heard at this time. Yeah, Nasty as They Want to Be is, I think, 16 tracks. Let me double check here. 18 tracks. And yeah, they're mostly about like sex stuff. References to Andrew Dice Clay, like references to like just dirty stuff you're not supposed to talk about in public. But it took like 3 years to go through the court system to determine whether or not that was protected free speech, which is bananas. But yeah, this Boner album got people real stirred up about what's protected speech and not.
I forgot about the fuck shop. Sorry.
The fuck shop. The fuck shop's great. Me So Horny. Put her in the Buick has this riff that they lifted from Chaka Chaz, the Jungle Fever song.
Yeah.
And so it's just a woman sexually moaning, and that's the whole beat to the song.
Hell yeah.
Man, they don't make it like that no more.
No, because they're all scared.
They're afraid. They're afraid of joy.
Should be just sex sounds galore.
Mm-hmm. What if you had a whole sound? I think someone probably has at this point now made a track that's just like, I've just composited sex sounds with a synthesizer.
Yeah. I've had that idea. I don't know. Well, because I might still do this, but I've always wanted to make a song out of like the backing track or the main samples, like an orgy, and but it's everyone across the spectrum. I want it all.
You're playing every instrument.
You're
playing every instrument.
Yeah. Everything, all orientations, all positions, all everything in one song.
And it's going to be my masterpiece, a sonata. Sorry, what were you? What?
Well, I was in Sacred. Is it gonna be like from Guns N' Roses, that one song where it's allegedly Axl Rose recorded himself in the booth, sleeping with the bassist, like, and then he just put in the track.
It's gonna be like actual.
You're gonna record.
There's no hiding. There's no rumors.
Okay, you gotta field record an orgy.
Yeah. I'm going to go anthropologist. I'm going to find one and record the audio, and
you might have to throw away the stand.
Might have to.
And the mic, like the particles it picks up,
You don't want to bring that back, like yeah, not after 2020.
So book good.
Good.
Yeah, book good, guys.
Good. Ian, so that was both the music and the book, right?
That was both the music and the book.
Do you have anything else, or do you want to go to the story?
I do have a movie, and then I could do the story.
Yeah, awesome.
So last night I also started to go through HBO Max's collection of like classics, and I was like, I haven't seen quite a few of these, so I thought I'd mention a Divorce Italian Style, which was the #1 recommended comedy on their list. Wow, it's tenuously a comedy, but I'll tell you guys,
shit.
It's a beautiful film.
Okay, hang on. I'm so very sorry, everyone.
Sure.
Can you give me like 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay, or 2 or 3 minutes. I just gotta take care of something.
All right.
1 sec. Where's the intermission? No, there we go. And
like it's a monster's interpretation of humans.
Okay,
and yeah, I like that.
Let's talk more about that. We will talk more about that, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
How about we don't? But say we did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, everyone. All right. Gotta wait. What's the timestamp on that so I can cut that? I'm gonna go 20 minutes.
Right. 20-minute dump.
No, that way it's just not fucking silence on the audio.
Yeah. No, you cut it, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Ian. You saw a movie called Divorced
Italian Style.
Oh. So they're
divorced.
Italian and divorced, right?
Oh my
They're
God.
Italian and they want a divorce.
Damn.
And
The oldest story in the book. Really?
Dude, it's wild.
German revenge, even
German.
older.
I don't try to judge, but holy shit.
Yeah, it's an interesting film from '62,
Uh-huh.
and I'll give you guys like kind of a short overview, but essentially it's a film I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I literally can't imagine it.
Mm.
No?
No, I'm trying right now, and I can't.
Well, good movie watch, Ian. Let's talk about the story.
It's so the story is set in contemporary Italy at the time.
Okay.
Your main character is Don Francisco,
Mhm.
who is a very poor noble, like who's
Yeah.
lost a lot of the family money.
But he's still a
Um,
Don.
He's still a Don.
That's
yes.
crazy. Okay.
And so he has a wife who he hates because she has a unibrow and a mustache, and that's basically the only reason you're told she's ugly. Like other than that, she's obviously a gorgeous woman who
It's
just
like it's such a God, that Hollywood thing, right? Like of they just put a thing on a woman's face and go, she's so fucking hideous. I don't want
I know, and
can
like,
you
but the-
imagine being oh, no wonder they got divorced, right? Oh gee.
Yo,
And
and
then-
every time it's always below the cheekbone, like so it doesn't
yeah.
get the actual
Oh yeah, it
face.
can't be the eyes.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
you should be able to see the inner beauty in
Mhm.
the eyes. What the fucking that reminds me because I was in
it's creepy.
Vegas
Mhm.
and I know I said that didn't sound like exciting. It really wasn't. I just spent way too much time drinking and
Okay.
That sounds
not doing
fun.
anything.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I know, but there's no exciting thing that came out of that.
Oh,
Like
alright,
it was,
alright.
it was just that's what that was, and then
What
but
a
I
writer.
get to there's one thing I can talk. Well, I got to the lobby, and fucking Ready Player One is on the TV, like one of the TVs in the lobby, and I had never
Yeah.
seen Ready Player One, so they were showing like the climax, or I assume it was a climax. If it wasn't, I can't imagine what the rest of that movie is. And
Right.
then, and then the only thing I remember is that of that movie is that the girl gamer character,
Uh-huh.
because that's how she's portrayed in the thing. And I think we've talked about it. The author's like has a weird view on women.
Well-
That's not great.
I think we talked about how like when I had read it and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm not watching this movie."
Yeah, yeah, it was you who told me this. Okay, go ahead.
He's the one who specifically in the book explains that the reason that the human male is like evolutionarily in quotations, I'm doing quotations here,
Yeah,
like is evolutionarily superior or whatever, is because he knows how to masturbate, and that's the only thing that kept us better than all the other animals.
Mm-hmm. Like
Is
it's
that-
just quantity. Like
Yeah.
it's to tame the beast inside.
Exactly.
It's
That's our greatest, guys. Evolutionarily, it's our greatest thing that we've ever done. Apparently.
Well, okay, so to make following that line of
Mhm.
his worldview, so I heard in that movie they make a big deal, and then the girl's like, "I'm not like the other girls. I'm very ugly," or something, and it's just like a scar on her face, like a slight scar. And I think you're right, Nick. It wasn't above the eye; it was like below.
yeah.
The inner beauty.
And the way they treat her is like, or the way she makes it sounds is like they treat her like a fucking ogre, like, and and society like shuns her out or something. Anyway, I saw that movie. I don't know what people were like. There was action happening, and it just wasn't interesting to me. And then the dialogue happening in the captions, I was like, sounded the most generic, to the point that I can't even remember what was going on.
That
But
movie
anyway, I
sounds
saw
like
10 minutes of that movie. Saw
Right?
10 minutes.
Then that's enough.
That's
Am I
enough,
right?
right? I don't need to go on. All right, I'm sorry, Ian.
No, it's okay.
Divorce Italian style.
Divorce Italian style.
Unibrow and a
Mm.
So,
mustache.
Sounds like a
so
position.
All
as
easily fixable things too.
mhm.
What?
And I assume a unibrow and a mustache.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah.
being Italian.
No,
All fixable things you can take care of.
no. The mustache and the unibrow, like, because that makes me think. Oh well, then there's a point later in the movie where she does a shave and or wax, and oh, she's pretty now, but we're divorced. We're
Oh.
divorced.
Wow.
But maybe I don't want to be divorced anymore.
Can I tell you, Chris?
Yeah.
You're pitching the good You're no.
Oh
you're
yeah,
You're
Oh.
pitching what this century's version of this movie would be.
that's fair. You know what? Yeah, I'm basing it
'Cause
off like
this movie
romance
is
kinda.
going wild places, my guy.
All right, go. Tell me.
So
Tell me.
America Ferrera, bad-looking wife.
Okay.
But it's Italy in the 1960s. We're under papal directive, which means divorce is illegal. You can't divorce your wife if you're a Catholic.
Yeah.
So he basically starts daydreaming about murdering his wife, and how he would get away with it.
Yeah.
We are then introduced to the real motivator, because the first 30 minutes you just get the sense, oh, this guy hates his wife and is
Boy.
occasionally thinking about, well, what if I pushed her off something. He then is introduced to so basically he starts renting out parts of the palazzo to other parts of his family because he's so hard up for money.
Yeah.
And he is then introduced to his aunt's child's daughter, the beautiful and 16-year-old who's technically his cousin, who he falls in love with.
Wait. Aunt's child daughter.
His aunt's child's his aunt's
A
son's
niece.
daughter.
It's
Or
a niece.
Is
right?
a niece? Okay.
Yeah, because the son would be the cousin.
So she would be like a second cousin then, or something. It's something
like
like
second niece, second cousin.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever the
Anyway,
fuck. Yeah.
this
Incest.
This angelic,
Underage. Well, I don't know what it was in Italy, but still gross. So,
technically
hey,
just barely
yeah.
legal incest in Italy. Yeah.
gross.
And
All right,
and
cool.
so the middle part of the movie is Don Francisco deciding that he is going to use the excuse of catching his wife in an affair and then murdering them both in a jealous rage, because under Italian law, you can get away with just 3 years for doing something like that if you did.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's doable. And
I can do 3 years. Easy.
Oh my god.
And so he picks out a lawyer, and he just keeps trying to find ways to get first his wife to start cheating on him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he not only he's such an unlikable protagonist, he spends the middle of the movie deliberately getting his wife to spend less time with him
Yeah.
and find a man who is attracted to her.
Yeah.
He then finds out that his wife actually was interested in a man before they got married, who became the muralist for the church. And so the middle part of the movie is him basically trying to set her up with this man.
Yeah.
And then record it so he can have proof that there was an affair and he was
Yes.
right to murder them.
Yeah.
He eventually does manage to get the painter to redo the frescoes in his palazzo. They do have an affair,
Yes.
but then they run away together. And so suddenly you would now, I being an ignorant American thought, well, the problem solved itself in a different way.
Yeah, but what? That's exactly what I thought. But what? So what?
Well, now
what's the
he's a
problem here?
cuckold. Everyone knows
no
a
honor.
different man is
It's
loving your
honor.
wife.
Yeah.
and you're a laughingstock to the society. And then the underage that 16-year-old girl that he's been writing very explicit letters to. One day, her letter to him gets mixed up with her letter to her father. And he has a heart attack and dies. And so during the funeral procession, everybody's basically booing them. And they're like, "You have no honor. Your wife is sleeping with someone else." And he's like, "Perfect. Find me el Don Minsto." And so he brings out the mafia boss for the area, and he's like, "Find me where my wife and her lover are."
But with what money?
What?
But with what money? That's the question.
That would have been an interesting wrinkle. But instead, they're all like, "Yeah, your honor." So, and then the painter's wife ends up beating him there, and he finds out where they have gone. But the painter's wife found them first and murders them. And so he is so distressed by this that he takes out his gun and just
wait. Hang on, sorry. The painter's wife.
The painter.
The mafia.
No. The painter who ran away with
has
Don
a wife.
Had a wife.
Got it.
That he didn't tell her about.
Okay, and she's the one that finds
adultering everybody.
Yeah.
As
the Catholics do, and then we got.
And so the painter's wife is literally running past Don Francisco with a gun out, and then you just hear. And he's like walking past her as she walks away from him, and then he's like, "Well, shit." So then he just starts firing his gun off screen as well, because she's just kind of stolen the wind from under his vengeance killing.
You gotta make it look like you did something too.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are they gonna?
They
can't trace the bullet. Yeah.
So he goes to jail and he serves a year and a half, and he marries his cousin.
For what? For the murder?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
He takes the
What's the wife?
For it.
What's the painter's wife?
She's never in the movie again. She just shows up to fuck up his plan, and then she's not in it anymore. And he's like, "I'm taking the credit anyway."
Why even?
And then, the conclusion of the film is he marries his cousin, who is clearly planning to kill him now because she's in love with the sailor of his yacht. Also, he came into a bunch of money at the end. They don't really listen. He's fucking the teenager. He's getting he has a bunch of money now. Also, it's a deranged
classic
fairy tale for a
classic movie.
Iconic.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask I almost asked the question of what made it deserve to be preserved, because that's not the right question. Why is it considered a classic besides being old?
That's a great question, because I looked at it I mean, I know that the director is a fairly well-known director, but this movie in particular, the director of it is Pietro Germi, who was a novelist and a screenwriter and kind of a big deal at the time. I imagine that this was considered really cutting edge dark comedy for the 1960s.
Okay. So it's not played straight?
No, that's the thing is the actors play it all very straight, but the scenario is just so deranged.
Okay, so that can work as comedy. Then if you play it, it can work.
But does it? You have to be someone who accepts the premise that we all have a slight conscience. We all have to know that what this human being is doing is so wrong at the base of it that we can't
be like, "Oh no, that's what you do." That's what you
Yeah,
do.
you're incest,
fucking
yeah.
happy ending, right, guys? He killed his dog wife and he got his hot cousin. Like, good,
So-
good
Incest,
ending.
yeah.
So,
Good movie.
I guess in our sensibilities,
Yes.
did you find it funny? Like,
I found scenes. I found actually there are quite a few scenes that are pretty funny. Like the murder scene is wild.
that
It's
sounds pretty
like
funny. Like
it's
that.
a straight up slapstick scene
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like they don't make like you don't watch anything violent happen. You watch a woman with a gun walk off screen, bang bang bang, and walk
Bang,
back
bang,
off.
bang. Yeah.
And you get to see him like do these crazy reactions. I think that also like to my sensibilities, like the protagonist is such a narcissist. Like he's
Yeah.
an Arrested Development character. He's this is a ghoul. This ghoul, whatever he does, is going to be terrible. The one thing I would say is like the scenes with the younger actress.
Uh-huh.
I don't think she's playing it funny.
Okay.
And those scenes to me, and maybe that's my sensibility at least.
Yeah.
The scenes with her always feel kind of like, okay, are we on target here for what we're saying?
Okay.
Because some of these are just like, yeah, she's a very pretty girl in white. You've got her in a lot of very virginal whites. That's okay. And I mean, the shot composition is beautiful. It's actually like shot like a beautiful Italian piece of cinema. Like beautiful house. Even the shitty like crumbling house that Don Francisco lives in looks really cool. And then they have these beautiful shots of metropolitan Italy where the kids go to school.
Yep.
It looks beautiful. It is really nice to look at. I think I would say overall it in some big regards like falls short to a modern sensibility, but I can see why people appreciate it for what it did. You know
That's
what I mean?
a real question, right? Like,
yeah. I think it's definitely much better if you have like a whole lot of context that you take it in with, because I think that if you're just a regular viewer, you may be reasonably put off by what a scumbag these people are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nick, any thoughts on that movie?
No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, I'm sorry.
No. That's fine. That's fine by me. I'm gonna gonna pass it over. Well, no. Ian's story.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, whatever it is. A little bit of, I guess, prelude. Ian told me he had a story, and then was gonna tell me something, and I was like, "Fucking what?" And then he would he told me he had a story, and it's like, "Oh, but should I save it for the podcast?" And I just went, "Yeah, let's just do that." And I totally forgot about it, which means it worked. So here we go.
Here it is. So this is what, like 3 weeks ago, a while ago.
Better be good, Ian.
I got a package in the mail.
God.
Beautiful.
All right, so you got a package in the mail. Yeah,
I got a package in the mail. I opened said package, and you would not believe the contents which I found therein. It was an original printing of the Rum Diaries by Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh.
And it was signed by Hunter S. Thompson. And I was agag. I was shocked. It's like, it's for realsy. It's his. I checked it, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's his real autograph. And I was like, oh, what a prized thing. No
That's
note.
Really cool.
No note. I don't know who sent it to me. I have no idea who sent me this very valuable book.
And it was addressed to you.
It was addressed to me. It had my name on it. Yeah.
And no return.
No return. No message therein. No little inscription. Nothing like that. So I was like, oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
And I truthfully immediately turned cold, and I thought, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? What does this mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
And
it
I
means
called
a great treasure hunt is upon us.
So I naturally called my mom. That was the first person I could think of. There was no, by the way, also, there's not like any birthdays or anniversaries or events that has transpired in the last few weeks. Nothing like that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it's your birthday yet.
Yeah.
You're
so
a
I
summer
called my
child,
mom.
right?
I'm a midsummer child.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
true.
yeah.
That's true. And I call her, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Mom, I got this thing." Da, 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 da. And she's like, "I have no idea what that's about. I don't know."
I was about to say, is your mom a Hunter S. Thompson fan?
She's not a fan of that kind of writing, and I mean, maybe she would know I'd like it, but also, if my mom bought me something, she's really not the kind of person to be like she would be like, "Oh yeah, I thought of you at X reason." You know what I mean? Like, my mom wouldn't lie about that. So I was then left with, who the fuck sent me this package? So out there to the audience, that's where I'm leaving it. Who sent me this package?
All 5 of you. Would you be? Have you posted? Well, no, yeah. I imagine you haven't posted on like any socials about it, right? Or like.
No, I hadn't, because I was saving it for this, and
so like, oh, go ahead.
The thing I'm wondering is genuinely like, who would know the address to send it to? You know what I mean?
That's that's a better question. Because I know the general area you live. I don't know the address.
Right.
And I don't know how I would find out, other than, I guess, somehow get in contact with your mom, but I don't know how I would do that.
Yeah, you could ask her on. I mean, you could listen.
Oh, Facebook.
I mean, not to give you ideas, but yeah, you could find her on Facebook. Like,
wait, no, I have sent you something before.
Oh no.
To this address?
Oh, to that one? I don't know. What was when I sent you that one birthday gift?
Oh, dip.
Ghost dog. Ghost dog.
It was here.
Oh, so I'm a suspect.
You are a suspect.
Is it ghost dog?
God damn it! Is it? Oh shit!
It wasn't. Well, it wasn't me, because I don't remember what your address is. Also, well, I feel like I would keep that.
Right. If you found that shit, of course you would keep that. Like, that's a crazy find. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh. Well.
So you know what, Ian? That finish off whatever you're gonna say.
Dude, the end is, God damn it! If you know where I am, please don't hurt me. I think you're great.
I live with other people. They all can somehow defend themselves. I don't know about me, but like they'll figure it out.
Ian, I'm not gonna lie. There's like 20 people at your last house. Like,
that's true. Oh, dip. Oh,
Was any of your roommates?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't talk to any of my old roommates. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking, I lived with like 2 or 3 other people at a time.
And they know where you're at.
One of them knows where to redirect my mail.
Unlike me.
Okay.
That's such a weird. Here's the thing, gang, and now we're just talking out loud on the air. But like, who sends that without a note? God damn it! What a weird thing to do.
I wonder if they forgot, and then like. Well, one, it could be the note, maybe to just freak you out because they know this is how you would react. And like, because I've thought about doing stuff like that because I think I know how certain people would react to things.
Fair.
So I'm just thinking of, a psychopath as well. But also, it could just be they forgot.
Could be.
And like, but here's the follow up to that. They forget to put a thing, and they're like, fuck, Ian didn't say anything. That's like a really expensive fucking gift. It was really hard to get. No, thank you.
Wow,
I'm not expecting another gift here. I'm just like, fucking acknowledgement. How about that?
God damn it, no. Oh, God.
And that's which one's worse, that one or someone trying to start like freaking you out?
You know what? I don't know which one's worse. I don't know. You also haven't mentioned C. It could be a scream. I could be in a scream, and this is the setup for a scream.
Or Fourth possibility, I'm lying.
Yeah, you're bullshitting me, and you fucking did it. Just because you knew I would be weird about it.
Okay. So let's think about why it can't be me, right? Because I know it's not me. Because this is my first time hearing about this. I don't know. I'm not exactly on the prowl for rare books. If I go to a shop, I'll ask about authors that I'm looking for hard copies of stuff.
Sure.
Case in point, actually, I'll show something after. I was going to show it to you next time you were over. Yeah. It's been a long time now that I'm just going to show it on live camera of some really cool shit I got. But I'm not, I'm not exactly on the prowl for any of that stuff.
True.
At the moment, because it's expensive. And while I wish I could buy the rare things I want at any given point, it's not a possibility.
Be that way.
At the moment.
I figure.
Yeah.
So, let alone give a gift to someone.
Without a note?
Without a note. That part does sound like me, though, where I would do it just to freak you out.
That sounds like something Chris would do to fuck with me. Definitely.
Just.
But he didn't do it though.
I didn't.
But it would be within your character to do it, huh?
Listen, I'm just saying
Nick, if
that
we're
this
just
is
profiling something that's been proven wrong and like a bad way to do cop work. Yeah, for profiling. It's a quick way to get you the wrong culprit.
Yeah, you plead the fifth, huh?
No, because I'm talking way too much.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What about
That's wild? Yeah.
Does Gochu know where you live?
That would be wild. Maybe I don't know. I don't think
he would be the type of person to do that, though.
Yeah, Concha definitely.
He doesn't think about people.
He'd send like a nice.
That's true. That's very true.
I know his character. I know him as a man.
I know he actually listens to the podcast, so he's gonna get a kick out of that. But
I know he doesn't care.
I'm kidding, Gochu. But
no, that's wonderful.
I don't think he would be the person to send you something without a note.
Yeah, he would definitely.
Or a return address at least. Like maybe without a note, but he wouldn't. Like not without return address.
So it's not a bomb, is it? Or
what if I've been putting it in my mouth? What if it?
Hey, how do you know it's real?
Well, the signature. I mean, I haven't got it like appraised or anything, but I double checked the signature against like
other known signatures,
some sales.
Yeah,
some like people who've got Thompson signatures, and it's the real thing, defo. To me, I can't tell the difference. So.
But what about the book itself?
I mean, it's in pretty good quality. It's clearly been read like a few times, like for a while. It's a hardback. It's a UK printing.
Lasts a while. Interesting.
It's sold by Bloomsbury.
UK printing, huh? Well, that doesn't mean anything once a book's old enough.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably printed in. Let me see. 98 when this one was printed.
And there's no writing inside the book besides the signature.
It's it's signature on a nameplate.
On a nameplate.
But it's from Bloomsbury, like the one that Bloomsbury will give you when they're doing like book signings and things.
Yeah.
So that checks out.
And you're not part of no Book of the Month Club, and then got like.
No, I'm not a part of. Wouldn't that be fucking buck wild? Join Book of the Month Club and get one signed.
One signed book from someone, and it just happens to be the Rum Diaries by Hunter.
Well, this was the one we had in the box. I don't know.
What about? Okay. Do you know anyone at Bloomsbury?
No, not personally. I don't know anyone at Bloomsbury personally. No.
Do you know anyone who would have a connection to Bloomsbury?
My old professor. Which,
but how would they get your address?
Exactly, correct, exactly right.
Do you have your address posted anywhere?
I don't. But here's.
You know what? Hang on. Don't answer that question on on the internet. You know what? We'll work through this more.
Okay.
Because I'm curious now too.
Yeah. Right. This is
Yeah.
weird. This
So
is a weird one.
that does remind me of something. Ian and Nick, buy me like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out something.
Okay.
But they'll still be able to hear you.
Okay.
So, 1
Well.
second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's.
So did you read the book, or how is it?
I didn't finish the whole thing on the 90s. I was still doing a convention. I was still doing the Dungeons and Dragons thing on the weekend. But,
Oh yeah, that's right, sir.
between games, I kind of picked through it. It was pretty good. It's still really good. I'm kind of using it as like a jumping off point, like I said. Like
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, I almost started a movie with Michael Douglas called
wow.
Falling Down.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember this movie?
Yeah, falling down.
Holy shit! How do you explain that as a premise now? Like, it's
No, okay. So, I guess we'll just speed run the movie, right?
yeah. Go for it.
So the movie is just constant escalation.
Yes, basically,
And
it's like video game rules, right? Like,
yeah, he's leveling up in the sense that he's acting more and more on his intrusive thoughts.
yes.
And then there's just the point of pull out gun, and then now what?
Yeah, exactly. He trades, what is it? He trades a baseball bat for a knife,
For a knife.
and then a knife for like a handgun, and a handgun for like a Tommy gun or something. Like,
Yeah.
And at the end of it, there's like we don't serve breakfast at McDonald's after 8:30, and then he just mows down a crew of fast food workers. It's ooh.
My favorite description of that film, and also like films from that era that were coming out later on, because it's technically one of the first of it. I think it was a comedian, Patrice O'Neill, on the XM radio. He said, "Oh yeah, it's another Lane White dude fantasy movie."
Oh yeah, I think that one was like a progenitor. Like when I watched like the first few minutes of it, and I was like, oh, how did this movie not get a the Joker type dude doing something crazy? You know,
right?
Like, I mean, yeah. But it's it's a good book, but yeah, I'm taking my time just because it's serving as such a fun kind of jumping off point to kind of get into a bunch of other things, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I'm actually that way with music books. Like when I read like full novels on music production or engineering.
Oh, okay.
They'll name drop like albums and stuff like that to check out as like reference.
Nice.
I used to just literally like go on the index section, just like highlight like stuff to check out later.
Remind me after the court. I want to ask you for some recommendation because I'm also interested in getting into like East Coast, West Coast as a reading about that situation. Like, I really want to get into more music history.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just music in general, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about like Southern rap? Do you listen to that?
So, like country, like a
no, just rappers from the South or like even Atlanta, which is not the South. That's like in the accent, but stuff like Outkast is probably the big Southern rap group, you know, and then the Coup are from the South.
Oh, I love. Yeah, they're great.
I've oh, go ahead.
I was just, like their writer, their lead vocalist. Like, he's so creative, man. He's got so much going on.
Love that dude. Made one of my favorite movies in the past decade. And like, just because I've been getting more into Southern rap, and I think I like that a lot. Anyway, thank you guys for buying me a couple minutes.
Absolutely.
So I was gonna show this to Ian next time we hung out, but it's been so long. Okay, so I got this from my trip in San Fran about like 2 months ago, I think, a month or two ago. I don't know how fucking long. Time's weird. It's a bookstore in Hayden Ashbury called Borderlands. which was recommended to me after I went to another bookstore somewhere else in San Fran. And I wish I could remember the name of that. I had the button to remember, and then I gave it to my sister, and now I don't know what the book place was called. I think it was called Goodreads. It was like a 3-story bookstore. Small rooms, but like there was a basement, there's the mail room, and then there's the poetry, which is upstairs. And then it was right next to a bar where apparently a bunch of writers used to hang out at. That was pretty cool. That was a cool bar. Ian, you would have loved that place. And like but anyway, they had a small sci-fi collection but no horror. So I went like, hey, do you guys know any bookstores that carry a lot of horror stuff? And you're like, dude, this place about Borderlands. You're gonna love that shit. You're gonna dig that shit. So the first bookstore that I'm talking about, I bought like Raymond. I don't know. That's not gonna show up because of the light. Raymond Carver's another Raymond Carver short story collection. I think it was a relatively new reprint because it's in great condition. Oh shit! Hell yeah! I forgot to put a bookmark in here. So it's called City Lights Booksellers. City Lights in San Francisco.
City Lights.
Go hit them up. Cool place to be in. I will say, as someone who's tall, like taller than when those buildings were built, I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'8". Little tough to navigate the stairs. Even I had to be like ducking in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So fair warning on that. And it is stairs because it's an old building from like I don't know when, but cool place. Very nice people who work there. The dude behind the counter, I wish I got his name. He helped me out with the horror stuff, or he helped me. Him and one of the managers like helped me with the place. So I went to the horror place, and believe it or not, Ian, this is the least interesting find.
Really?
Yeah. This next one, I bought a hard copy of Clown in Cornfield.
Dude, nice.
Brand new, cost like $10. Brand spanking new. That's from Borderlands.
Nice.
So then I was looking for a very specific author, and just went through the whole thing, and I guess I just missed what I was looking for because then I went to the counter, and asked the person behind it, and she was very helpful. I was a little flustered because I thought she was very pretty, but then when we found the books. I was like, oh, I just totally missed it. So here's a hard copy of Harlan Ellison's Pain God. Dude. It's used, but it's in near like
that's beautiful,
pristine. Like, yeah, the pages are a little brown, but
damn, that's sick.
That's beautiful.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
I think I bought this for $7.
What?
So for anyone who's watched our videos, the beginning of the Sonic video, I'm quoting Pain God. The version about being an adult, and then behind that is they had a glass case like the rare shit, the rare horror shit, and they had all these works by Harlan Ellison, including a comic he did, which I didn't know he did a comic, and then big old collections that these books were like either $100 or more than 100. I didn't buy, but I did buy sadly open but still really good condition audio CD. He narrates this. It is Paladin of the Lost Hour. They only made and it is signed.
Good lord.
For number 200, he only signed like 1,000 of these.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
fantastic.
$30.
What?
That was a really good deal.
So, have you looked up what the audio is? Because that's sealed.
No, not yet. I just haven't had. I want to download it on my phone somehow, because I don't want to use the CD.
No.
Even though it's already open, but like I don't want to risk it.
Right.
Plus, I'm trying to read other books before I get to these. Because I have a pile in my room called the needs to be read pile.
Okay.
I don't put on the bookshelf. It's just a stack. I'm like, well, that's the thing to do, is to read those. Although I got to take one book out because I did finish it,
Nice.
or the other one too. So that's two I got to take out. Yeah, rare books. They're cool. I'm a big.
They're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I like Harlan Ellison a lot, and like I've never found a hard copy of any of his stuff, and this place had like a bunch. There was a cool one he wrote on like a book about him writing on like smut and like pornography. Yeah, that I almost wanted to buy.
That
so I was like, Paint God means a lot more to me, even though that's a more interesting. Because people at the bookstore is like, you gotta check this shit out. This shit's wild. And I'm like, oh, I want to, but Pain God, like, I don't know if I'm gonna find Pain God, like again.
Right.
And like, oh, shit's wild. It was a cool place. Borderlands, Honey and Ashbury, fucking horror, sci-fi. That place is awesome. It's just walls of that.
San Francisco is a great place. Like, they have an ecosystem of bookstores.
They really do.
They
really do.
It's really
to the point where they can specialize in stuff, like
right. Yeah, they've got like a romance and a more of a sci-fi, more poets. No. Yeah. And
I'm over here looking for give me the horror, give me the stuff no one wants.
Give me the hard stuff. I was gonna say, do you guys think that people would pay?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think people will pay? for like a bound copy of Harlan Ellison's interactions on the internet? I think people would. I think they would.
What? I mean, I look up that shit sometimes too. I think it's so fucking funny.
It's very funny.
And his justification is even funnier because he's aware that this is bad for him.
Yeah,
but he's like,
they win.
But they win. But they think they'll win. They won if I don't do anything. You know, like. Just the pettiest. I love that guy. What a petty mindset.
He's we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn from him.
And just a great writing of horror. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Apparently he was very nice, like in person. But it's when he's writing that it's intense, like fucking.
Yeah.
He's like an opposite, what's it called? Terry Pratchett. Because I heard Terry Pratchett's very intense, like in person.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Or do I have it opposite? No, I heard Terry Pratchett is like, can be a little intense in person, but he writes this beautiful, like...
very warm, friendly space.
Yeah, you would never even like figure that was him if you just knew his personality.
Yeah, I think that resonates with me, definitely.
Yeah, talking about these people I don't know, but like these are fun. I always heard that. But Harlan Ellison, when he writes, just has this. Oh, he's so good at just vitriolic, like.
Oh, just rage, just screed,
just this weird, deep understanding of rage, like. It's great, good book, good rare finds. Nick.
Yeah.
How was your month, man? Unless Ian, you got anything else?
Oh no, please, Nick.
Yeah, take it away.
I'm pass on the baton here.
Because I just remembered one movie we watched that I don't think we talked about on the last podcast.
Oh, did you guys watch Clone High also?
No.
Not the new one, no.
Okay.
A lot of new shows came out, including Barry, and I think Barry just finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I gotta watch that.
Yeah, so I'll speed run like one or two shows to mention, and then there's like one big one I do want to talk about. And
I think we have a movie we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, so I'll do that. First things first, I've been going through the Full Metal Panic anime series.
Okay.
And I will say I am kind of bummed I didn't watch it back then, because if I watched it when it was coming out, it would have been easily one of my favorites.
And now it's just good.
It's just good. It's just a solid. It's it's with it's like with Chihaya Fudu. It's like the most 8 out of 10 show I've seen. Like I can't complain. Like it's just really good.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and I will say the dub cast is pretty great because it's 2002, right? So, essentially the cast is like I want to say 90% just the Ava dub cast.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean,
well, because that's that time period, right? Where it's Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the same people.
Yep. So much so that the voice actor for Misato, she voices like 8 characters, and 4 of them are recurring. So she has to do like 4 different voices. Right. And then like the voice actor for Shinji voices like like so many background characters or like one-off episode characters. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Is he doing the Shinji voice?
I think it only shows up when the character's yelling.
Oh, okay. That you can hear the like
that thing. Yeah, but most of the time he's doing like a more low on the register.
Oh, okay.
Tone, but yeah, I still recommend the show. It's really good. God, those first episodes, like all the, I was warned about the the crazy like Dutch angle panty shots. I was warned. And it's just wild. Like, just there's so many in the beginning, but they stop and they go into like a more serious tone. And then it felt like season 1 was setting up like all the characters, and then it's like, okay, after this season, this is the actual story we want to go with, and it's a more comedy, like lighthearted feel.
I'm always torn on that because like old TV's like that. Well, we say old, but I mean like even 20 years ago. But even that could be considered old in media. A lot happens in 20 years for media. Where it takes a season for a show to get their bearing. I would still argue that's true now, but like not a lot of shows are given a chance to do that. You have to. That's the first season. That's gonna be the show. You don't get a chance to reiterate because you're probably only gonna get 2 seasons. Anymore is very lucky and very rare.
True.
Especially in a streaming environment, but like, it takes a bit, and then they figure out what the show is, and it's better. Like Simpsons is like that, Futurama is like that. A lot of sitcoms are, especially comedy.
The Office. Oh my god.
Yeah, The Office. Jesus, there's only like I think 1 good episode in that first season. I can think of with like few quips here and there. The basketball one is the one I'm thinking of, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You go back to the part of Parks and Rec where they still had what was that guy's name? Mark Brandanowitz? The character that was just not vibing with the
even though he's like a really good comedy actor. And like
the actor's really good.
Yeah,
I think
but
it was
the character. It's like
Yeah.
Because he's just supposed to be normal. And then, like play, but then no one else is crazy enough to be that to be a good foil, right? To bounce off.
Exactly. Not until you get like later on, and then you're like,
where some of them are like psychopaths, and then
Jane Calamezzo is an actual deranged person. But Nick, so Full Metal had 3 seasons or 5 seasons? How long did it end up?
Yeah, it's a total of 4 episodic seasons, and then 3 movies in total.
3 movies, fuck.
Yeah, wow. It's gone on way longer than I thought. That's
a lot. Big series.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does the big hamster people? Does that play a big role, or is that just in the comedy season 2, or is that?
It's definitely like way later. They become more involved. In the beginning, like it's just like the main protagonist, her like hamster pet. That's it. She kind of just. But yeah, no, it's still really good. That's weird because like each season like definitely gets better because I think like you said like just you get more chances for the characters to evolve.
Yeah.
And I definitely gotta check out the light novel series because I feel like there's definitely a lot of character like interpretations that I think maybe kind of like Monogatari, like more is explored in the novels than in the actual like runtime.
Right.
I wonder too because the one clip you showed me, right, of Full Metal Pack, that's a very visual, like a lot of visual gags and visual timing.
Yeah.
For comedy, so I'm wondering how the light novel would hold up, like how they do that. And is it based off the light novel, or did the show come first?
It's based off the light novel.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely explains it, especially like later on when they have, because essentially like the beginning is like setting up character to character, and then like by season 2 and 3 and 4, it's like, okay, well, this is now that we know their backstory and like know where they're coming from, then we can go like, okay, how are they going to interact with this? How are they going to handle this?
Yes.
But that's what I like. I like that it's it gets better and better each season. So
yeah. That's good.
So recommend it.
Cool.
Like I said, just bummed out I didn't give it a chance back then because it definitely would have been one of my favorites. But yeah, just
hey, you found out now. Out now. It's good.
It's better late than never, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
better to love than to not have love. All right. But what's the other thing?
Well, the other thing is, I'll say the other TV shows for later to gush about.
Okay.
But another thing was like I started reading the Paranus series by Octavia Butler, so I finished Wild Seed, the first book.
Wild Seed's good.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
More of her stuff.
Apparently, it's one of her also more popular, like well known, like
that's a big one. That's a big one.
And I totally agree because the forward is done by Viola Davis.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The version I have, yeah.
That's why I had to read for a college class. That's where I found out about her.
Yeah, and I will say like, I do like if it makes any sense. I like the opening to the first book to this Paranus series than the Xenogenesis. I think that's more because Paranus and Wild Seed, like you kind of just thrown in, rather than Xenogenesis is more.
Yeah, that's what I remember. You're in it, like it's a thing you got to wrap your head around too, for how like certain characters work.
Yeah,
and once you do, you get kind of what they're going at, like what she's going for.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it sucks because I'm trying to think of like what hasn't been said about one of the most famous books in
one of the most famous books in sci-fi, one of the most well-regarded authors in sci-fi. Even though I would argue I don't think enough people have heard of her.
I agree.
But like people are into sci-fi know that she's one of the best. Like
if not like a changer of the form downright. In her own way.
Oh, I argue. I've said this to Nick before. She is the sci-fi author that I think has gotten the most right when it comes to predicting the future.
Jesus Christ. That's not, I mean,
not
in an uplifting way, but she's
40,000 Leagues Under the Sea, maybe the only other one. But that wasn't,
thank God.
It wasn't inconceivable, like at the time.
Yeah.
But technology hadn't reached it yet.
Oh yeah. And definitely looking forward to reading the rest of it. Loving it already.
She's great.
Looking forward to that. So those are the two like big ones to talk about, and then like the one I'm saving for Ian and I to talk about. So I finished season 6, the final season of Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, I gotta get on that.
Yeah, now it's all available on Netflix.
It's all done,
and
right? So,
it's done. Yeah.
It's all there.
I was in college when that series started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. So here's what I'll go as vague as possible, Ian, and we can just kind of like see where we stand on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Better Call Saul I like way more than Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I keep saying this.
In addition, I think it might be some of my favorite writing in a while for TV.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the way like it's such a rare thing when you see an explanation like of something make it better, but also like give a new perspective when you go back. And I think the fact that they did such an incredible job with an A and B plot, but also tying every loose end possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ian, those last few episodes, I like legit. It's one of some of my favorite. Like it was, I had that moment like this is like some of my favorite writing in a while for a show.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's the scene. There's a scene in particular that I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
There's how do I talk about it?
Exactly.
There's a scene in particular I'm thinking of where I know exactly what you're talking about. Wherein I'll say it this way: we see a young man and we see a Saul's wife, and holy shit, I was breathtaking. I was like, oh Jesus, I didn't know you. How can you do this? Because the other thing is, the show completely jujitsus you. It knows what you know, and it says, yeah, I know you know that, and now I'm gonna hurt you with it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna use it against you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
And
Just, man.
I would say about Better Call Saul, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's better written than Breaking Bad. I think it's a stronger piece of fiction overall.
That's good to hear, right? Because like he should be getting better. That's your hope as a writer and as a creator, is that your thing gets better, like you get better at it when you're older.
I mean, and I say it as a real like it's. I mean, like, and that's saying it's better than something I already think is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the things, and this won't be a spoiler at all, but one of the things that Better Call Saul does, it works really, really well, is I'll speak to myself and y'all see if you connect with it. But when I'm watching like Breaking Bad, I do have like a certain degree of removal, in the sense that like I've never done meth, and I'm not around people who do meth usually, and like the kind of mercurial violence that exists in that world feels a little bit removed. But when you're watching the things that happen in Better Call Saul that are emotionally, physically, or psychologically violent, like there's things that are violent in that show in ways that don't involve hitting people.
Yeah.
That is so devastating. But it's so devastating because it's like, oh well, that could literally happen to anybody. That's so universal and terrible. I can't really I can't do that thing where I distance myself in the same way as I can when like Salamanca gets shot or something. Like, oh no, there's moments in this show that are unpleasantly familiar, unpleasantly normal, unpleasantly like, oh god, this is something really ugly in people's lives that can just happen. Like, and you don't have the distance of the kind of elevated grandeur of like the drug cartel storylines that you get in Breaking Bad. I don't know. What do you think about that, man?
No, I totally get that. Like, and also, even though, like you said, you have the knowledge of like what's gonna happen anyway, like overall with the lore, there's still those moments of like they just get you in those scenes so well that you just forget for a moment that, oh yeah, this is gonna happen anyway. But yeah, it's just those moments to moments, and I still stand by I keep forgetting his name. Oh my god, the actor that plays Nacho and is Voss in Far Cry 3. He's still one of my favorite actors because it's funny because in Better Call Saul, he's playing he rarely screams, and then like every role I've seen him play is him screaming like nonstop. So him having a more like more of a role, like you said, just entire characters being victims of organized violence and of being forced into inevitable systems of just robbing freedom. It's like, oh man. And then them, and then the actor who plays Lalo, like incredible. Like holy shit.
That dude deserves all of our love and appreciate. Like I want to see that dude in so many more things. Lalo is such a fucking so yeah, I'm thinking about what I want to say.
I know it's tough.
It's great when he's on screen. You want more of it. You're kind of like morbidly transfixed by what's gonna happen, but he's such a good actor. He's so talented.
And just like the last 3 shots of the entire series is like, that stuff I know I'm gonna say it's gonna sound my ass, but it does seem like stuff you can just study for so long.
Yeah.
Because of just how well not only executed, but just how many layers narratively.
Yeah.
It's implying both, but also at the same time it's concluding.
Mm-hmm.
It's
the final
okay.
shots, and this is not necessarily to give anything away, but Chris, I hope you can kind of get the gravity of me saying, when I watched the last few scenes, I genuinely forgot for a second that it was TV. I watched those last few seconds and I was like, Jesus Christ, they're just gonna let that happen to him? Like,
oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. I feel like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Okay. I feel like I get the sentiment because we grew up where like TV was very different from movies, but I do think that's becoming like weird. Like it's becoming a weirder line.
Yeah.
To differentiate in terms of what makes, other than straight up, was it in a movie theater or is it an hour feature like type thing, hour 30 feature. I don't know. I would argue there was a time period too where like TV was doing better than movies.
Yeah,
and I think TV can do a lot more than I think movies are allowed to. It's the difference between like a novel and short story, in my opinion, but like of different things. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You like kind of like the budget they would use. Type deal.
It's not just the budget.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a I wanted to more so compliment the storytelling and the way that they're framing it, in that. So you get your whatever the consequence is. You get the last thing that happens.
Yeah.
In the show. And I was so engrossed in like the fiction, and I think maybe specifically the way they were shooting the end of it. Like my brain was I caught myself in like, this isn't the news. This didn't really happen. This is pretend. This is a comedian wearing a costume.
Yeah.
But I think, but to your point, like the fact that I had been with them for so long, for like the years that it takes to unfold that story, you get really comfortable with characters in that world. And
which makes
like,
it all the more impactful when they take them away.
Exactly. And so when you had that moment, I had it like that little and that's the biggest compliment.
Part of you died. No.
A part of my brain was like, no, Saul, the real person, exists. You can't do that to him, the real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to like also, I mean, like I said, there's always that context of, you know, I totally agree with Chris of TV shows have their own like potential for like expressing stuff that movies can't within like the time length. Because it totally feels like with Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad that you are exploring these character relationships and just how they affect everyone around them. And like with Better Call Saul, it's so much of you're just seeing you're just seeing a progression of believing what you're told you are. And it's such a and to me, like it's insanely fascinating just how they pull off that theme thematically on the A and B plot, but then they all come together, and just the payoff you get of it all is, man. And yeah, it is such like a satisfying conclusion just to everything. Breaking, you know, in this lore and like a Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and it was the feeling. And I remember like I haven't had this feeling watching a show since like The Wire or I don't know, like it just left me in that moment of like that was one of the best things I've seen in a long time. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this as well. Like, something I've been thinking about is, well, I think something I was just listening to an interview with the head writer of Succession. I'm thinking about watching Succession. People say lots of good things about Succession.
Yeah, people won't shut up about it. So like maybe I'll fucking.
It's done as of yesterday.
No, I know. I don't even know what it's about. I just know
It's
Macaulay Culkin's
not
brother
Rupert
is
Murdoch's 3 kids fighting over who's gonna run Fox News.
Got it.
That's it.
So,
But
Well, if you watch it, let me know if it's good. I'm catching up on other.
I may end up watching that. But I wanted to circle around to what Nick was saying. But like in that he was saying the point of a tragedy is the worst part of it is the inevitability of what happens.
Yeah.
When a tragic thing happens, the worst part is it's gonna end bad.
Yeah.
And that is successfully. I would agree. Like, there's this tragic feeling of everything is leading towards its own undoing in that show. That is, I mean, devastating, but amazing.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, with Gustavo Fring as a character, with basically everyone that touches this man's life. Like, oh wow, it's all going the wrong direction.
It's just like, and I just love like the music choices for it also are incredible. Everything to do with just like the setting of the houses, of like how they were able to like set everything up in a way like you can just immediately know the characters, like just from their environments, and just how much Saul's like how much he slowly like becomes part of other people's lives more and more, as everyone's like environments, like houses, change because of him, like where they live, right? Man, is I love this so much. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely get on it
and
give it a chance.
And Chris, when you get a chance, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you. Like, we may have to do like a halfway point and then an end point, because season 3's finale is really strong and really good, and maybe do something like that. Yeah,
got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I still gotta watch Moonfall.
Yeah, that's a real one.
No one. Why does everyone want to watch good things? Why doesn't no one?
Why does no one want to watch Moonfall?
Speaking of Moonfall, okay, hang on. I swear to God. I was hanging out with my sister over the weekend, and like the movie Twister was on TV.
Okay.
And I was like, I have history with Twister. I had Twister. One of my funniest stories with Twister is I once bought my dad a VHS copy for $5 at a Scholastic Book Fair of Twister. Brand new, because I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was like, this looks like something my dad would like. I don't know if you ever watched it, but I've seen Twister. Have you seen Twister?
Yes.
Okay. Twister's fucking wild. I don't know why people don't talk about that movie more often. That like that movie's character, it's such this like. So first of all, I found out, I never bothered looking into the background of it. Right. I assumed very wrongly, as I'll just about to prove, that the director of Twister was the director of Independence Day. It is
Joel
not.
Schumacher?
Yeah. It is super not. It is, hang on, this guy. For those who don't know, Twister's about a movie about a Category 5 hurricane touching down, and Bill Pullman's got a
storm chase it.
Storm chase it. Yeah. It's from 96. And it has a very famous scene that's great, where they're in the room, they're in a newsroom, and they're explaining what categories are for hurricanes. And it's like, all right, Category 1 is gonna be a slight breeze. Category 2, some shutters are gonna start banging. Category 3, you may start seeing some damage and loose things might start moving on the ground. Category 4 is go get shelter, go underground, and do not go outside no matter what. And then someone goes, but what about a Category 5? And the entire room goes silent and looks at the person. And the guy goes, it's the finger of God. I fucking love that movie so goddamn much.
that movie is such a 90s movie. It is quintessential in my brain. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like and it's filled with silly shit, like things that you think shouldn't work but do, like a cow that keeps reappearing in the storm. It's like, yeah, I guess that cow's fine, just moving.
So I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was watching the bits where they're trying to find the tornado, like where's it gonna touch down with their rival evil storm chasers who have the technology instead of the boots to the ground American spirit weirdos.
You sleep in tornadoes.
So the director is John DeBont.
Do I know that name?
You will soon. It's a Dutch director.
Oh, okay.
So this is a Dutch man making an Americana. So, and I mean Americana. There's pictures of like the main character next to a fucking flagpole, picking up the dirt and letting it sift through his fingers in the sunset. He is the director. Well, what do you want to even guess what movie he made right before this?
I'm gonna guess he made some like European psychosexual thriller.
That's right, Speed. And right after that, he made...
Yep.
And right after that was Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Good lord.
And then after that, The Haunting. And then after that, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie.
Good lord.
Before then, yeah, it was different, like foreign films. And like
so what we're saying is he's an auteur.
He is an auteur.
He's auteuring all over
Black
the place.
Rain was the American movie before. He made a movie called Roar and Turkish Delight. I don't know those. And then, but it's you know how we love seeing other countries' versions of America.
Yes.
That's what Twister is, man. That's Twister's fucking.
Yeah, it was someone from next door saying, "Nice hat, guys." Yes, we do have a nice hat. Finally, someone said it.
And like, it's just got all these weird things in the movie. It's almost like Mad Max at certain points where there's this caravan of cars trying to chase the tornado in crazy fucking decked out wheels.
Well, also, isn't Bull Pullman in the middle of a divorce during all of this?
Bill Paxton is in the middle of a divorce during it. And there's a moment too where like there's a really weird moment that I was explaining to my sister. I'm like, look at this weird misogyny thing that you don't even think about. Bill Paxton is allowed to get like flustered and angry to the point where he almost drives off the road just from talking about his divorce and killing Helen Hunt, his ex. And Helen Hunt's just fine because if she goes crazy, and I explained this to her, audiences aren't going to sympathize with her.
That's right.
And then she goes, why? Because she's a woman, and this era of Hollywood sucks because this is how women characters were portrayed, and it's awful.
And then it's also like they clearly like they have so much vitriol. The first half of the movie is the two of them bickering endlessly, and it's weird because you immediately, I don't know how immediately, but I feel like you immediately get like the other guys who are like, they're gonna make up. These two,
there's this whole thing of they're gonna get back together. They when they fight that much, they fucking are into each other. And then there's like, it's such a weird scene too because they almost die just from Bill Paxton driving off a road. That the storm hasn't hit. He's just getting real mad about saying it's not an argument. He's trying not to argue. It's very just man, like male, like fucking. I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to fucking argue. Like, get that
King Baby. Yeah,
King Baby. That's the term. Yeah. And then she's like, fine. She's like, yeah, well, it is what it is. And I'm like, that makes her seem like a fucking. She's insane. Because she almost died like that. In this. Anyway, Twister's fucking wild. Everyone go watch Twister. If you haven't. I know. I feel like it's such a weird time to bring it up now because I've always known about this movie and had history. Did you know it's written by Michael Crichton?
Is it?
Yeah. So Jurassic Park. Yeah, he wrote Jurassic Park series.
Jesus.
Which you can tell. Now, once you know that, you can see the dialogue and the way
Like the one last thing. I'm so sorry about Twister.
It's okay.
The breakfast scene is so weird. So you mentioned that's the same scene. I think they do the category thing,
That's right.
Also
one of the best
Philip
scenes in
Seymour
movies.
Hoffman, like fingers first into mashed potatoes and steak.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ! Oh, you have to have Nana's gravy. It's a food group all on its own. It's such a weird.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is such a good actor. Like, I know I'm not. That's not saying things, but he's so
What
good
a hot
at line
take.
delivery. Yeah, what a hot fucking take. He's so good at line delivery, like it's crazy. It's so fucking weird.
Philip Seymour Hoffman can make even the most benign dialogue weird and interesting.
Weird. You know, Brendan Small can make just mundane conversations the funniest fucking thing you've ever heard.
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is that, but makes it weird, and you're like, why are you like that?
What's the most unnatural choice I could make?
Yeah, and I don't know how you're not on that set. Like, I would be dying of laughter if I saw that. Like, I would probably be fired because I'd be like, I don't know. I think you guys are crazy. That's like the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
Are you guys committed to this not being a comedy? I think Philip's really taking it somewhere.
Everyone go watch Twister. Fucking what a movie. What a movie. That's
yeah.
All
right.
Fucking...
Good recommendation.
Good recommendation.
I just realized what we had been talking about and how random Twister was. That's very funny.
Twister's so weird. It's so weird. I'm like, and my sister wasn't paying attention at first. I'm like, are you watching this fucking this thing's crazy.
This piece of history.
And then she started paying attention. She's like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, because it was like a big box office movie when it came out in '96, and now we watch it and we're just like, it's almost like a farce. Like, it's not a farce. It's a parody of itself. Almost. Like, it's kind of nuts. Like, it's like watching Commando.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're like, oh, that's just a parody of all action movies, even though it's like, that's the movie all action movies would become later on.
Exactly. It became a template.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Which is wild.
Yes.
Yes. Fuck that movie. Oh, I might sit down and watch the entire thing because I only saw like maybe 30 minutes of it at the hotel.
I wonder how long after that was the remake of the Poseidon Adventure that they were like, we got to do another disaster movies. That's what they need.
That's a good question. Well, Pokemon had that episode, and that was 2006.
Oh, really?
Poseidon.
Oh, wow!
The one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, they remade
2006.
I think John Leguizamo was in it, and he gets cut in half. Yeah. Huh.
Wait, is that no? Are you thinking of Ghost Ship?
No. There's a scene in Poseidon Adventure where a dude in a tuxedo like leans through an elevator shaft, and the elevator Adventure. Like slams down.
Oh, the Poseidon Adventure. My bad. No, this is the old one.
Okay.
These are the old ones, but Poseidon's the one based on that movie, right?
I think so.
Yes, yeah. I don't think it's John Leguizamo you're thinking of. I think it's a different actor. I'm trying.
Maybe so.
Either way.
Anywho's.
Pokemon did that episode on it. It's like one of my favorite episodes as a kid.
Where the boat turns upside down and
they have to work together. And you're like, that's because it's kind of cool. You get to see how Pokemon like could be used in different situations.
Yeah,
to help out. Anyway, Twister. That was the fucking. Nick, was there any other things?
Well, besides Twister,
Nick, you should rewatch Twister. I know you just watched like a really highly well-regarded, well-written piece of fiction, but I feel like Twister.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? Let's do that.
No one wants to watch these movies with me anymore, dude. Like,
I'm talking about because I watch them all the time.
Oh, okay, we should do bad disaster movies.
I'm down for that.
We got a Moonfall, We don't know if it's bad yet. It could be the greatest thing we've ever
Titanic.
watched.
Could be the best film ever made.
Twister, which I don't know if it was bad at the time, but it feels like this weird parody of everything.
Yeah, Quake.
Nowadays. Quake. Which one's the Rock one?
When was that? When was Quake?
That's the one where there's the earthquake.
That's the Rock one, right?
The Rock one, yeah.
That's the one where he like has the flag behind him and he's like, "No, we rebuild."
Now we rebuild. Yeah,
Oh!
we all know what the ending of that movie
San
is.
Andreas.
Just kind of San Andreas. That's the
Yeah.
That's that. That's the one I told the story of my buddy Matt. Laughing. He thought of me when watching that movie when he heard that scene and then he started laughing really hard and no one else was laughing in that movie theater.
Mm.
And apparently he was with his dad and his dad's like, "Hey Matt, you gotta you're the only one laughing. You got it.
You're in big trouble, mister."
These people might start freaking out because it's supposed to be like America, like on the screen. And I'm like, I get that fear. I would have left the theater. I would have walked out and be like, I'm gonna go laugh over there so they don't think I'm like some fucking asshole. Like,
yeah, I had that recently.
Up in the parking lot.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had a moment like that recently, but it wasn't America related. It was like, I know if I laugh right now, I'd be a monster, so I had to like leave or mute. It was like during like, it's a random story, but yeah. It was like in a VC for like this one when I was taking classes, and this one dude says some like crazy shit, and you assume it's all lies, right? Naturally on the internet.
Sure.
But he just casually just trauma dumps, and the way he says it, it was so funny. But I had to mute because, I'd be a monster for laughing,
Right.
But it's just
okay.
I would say like just the way he said, just like the setup of me talking about something innocuous, like just a random character in a comic book, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, that happened to me." Insert trauma dump, and then. It was just such an amazing punchline, like.
Oh yeah, that happened. That exact same thing. I, murdered my wife and.
Anyway, this game looks cool.
Do you guys? I wonder. I don't think Nick has this. But I have this, and Ian, I could see you having this. Although I think you're much more. I think nowadays you'd be much better at handling this situation.
Yeah.
I still have moments where something really bad, I hear something really bad person, and all I can do is laugh because I don't know how else to respond. Like,
yes.
And it's just like the craziest fucking shit you've ever heard.
Yep.
And you laugh not at the idea that it's funny, like that.
No.
You laugh because one, that's the only way you can immediately process the information.
Yeah.
And two, it's so crazy that you're laughing of how crazy it is.
It is.
I know it happened to me exactly.
And you find out very quickly when you're like that, not a lot of people are like that. And will not get, so you come off like a fucking asshole. Like,
do you want a specific? I have a specific example from my.
I got one, but it was during I used to do group counseling in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say it because, like, I'm very particular about the whole, like, secrecy thing.
Sure.
Of telling people, even if it's like I never use names. I'm just like, it's, they said that. I'm not gonna repeat. If it was in public, like if it was on a Discord and all that, that's fair game because you're putting out in public, I think. Even though I would still be reluctant to be like, so-and-so did this.
Said this. Yeah, right.
Because I'm like, that's their place to tell. Unless they're, like, fucking putting that on everyone. But you get an example. You go.
Mine was when I was 13 years old. So yes, I don't think I would do it this way anymore. But yeah,
I think you're very better at handling situations now.
I've had a lot of.
I feel like I am too, but I still have those like moments where I'm like, what else is there to do, man?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, yeah, I was like 13 or 14. I was still just coming into high school.
Yeah.
And I had a friend from high school. She was a nice young woman. And
okay.
and she introduced me to her boyfriend, who she'd been talking about for a long time. And I want to make this clear. So I'd known the girl for like a while, maybe a few months. And I eventually meet her boyfriend, and we had a nice first interaction. He was very friendly, he was very pleasant.
Yeah.
And now I need to describe him so you can understand how weird the thing he then said was.
Okay.
Both my friend and he were African American.
Okay.
And he then said, just kind of introduced into the conversation to like, don't care for blacks. And I was like, well, oh, like I laughed, and I was like, that's funny. And he was like, no, I'm not joking. And he very, very then went on a wild, like, racist tirade.
Holy shit!
And I was like, but you, and then I just laughed.
And young, confused you were like, I don't know.
I have no idea how to respond to this.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So yeah, I would probably handle that differently, but at the time I was like, what?
I would hope so, Ian. I would hope you would handle that probably differently. But who's to say, internet, how Ian would handle no.
I'm sure you all
it's where like at that point it's like in your head you're hearing the tuba. The sousaphone. No, like it was a joke because like Boondocks, they have the tuba with Uncle Ruckus.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know why we were talking about the sad, slow walking tuba, but yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Wow, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a lot for a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
It's not for anybody.
I was like, oh, crazy. That's crazy. Literally crazy. You're crazy.
It's like, what's it called? So as I got older, that character from Reno 911 starts making a lot more sense to me. The Hispanic cop who is super racist and hates Hispanics.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, there's people like that in my family. Now that I know, that I know a lot more.
Yeah,
like, those people fucking exist. Like, what are you talking?
Yeah, people.
That was my like first exposure, I think. You
as a child, like,
or at least the first time I could connect the dots.
Yeah, growing up, yeah.
And it's like your first confrontation as a child with how out of whack with reality racists are. Like, oh, you're like on a whole other planet, my guy.
You're somewhere else. You're living a different reality than I am.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You have a different worldview that I just don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
And obviously, like, a conversation is just gonna either go one way or it's just gonna keep escalating.
Yeah.
You're just gonna. It's that thing of. Yeah, it's like any time. It's like the thing of like any time they hear anything like remotely different than what their like perceived reality to be, they'll immediately throw you in the extreme because it's easier to just ridicule the extreme than
deal with
challenge it.
Oh, it's way easier to put something in a box than to realize like there's different facets to everyone. But like, no, absolutely.
It's
That's
just
crazy.
like Billy and Mandy time.
Holy shit!
Right, guys?
Yeah.
That's right.
From that, when I just recently rewatched the one where he regresses from his fear of clowns, and then he has like a fantasy of his inner frat boy explaining, you don't have to be afraid of people because they're different than you. Yeah. You should be angry.
You should be angry that they're different. That shit is so good, dude.
It's so good.
Oh man. Yeah. So any other things you watch, Nick?
No, right?
No, because if so, I got some, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, that was a big one. Just Better Call Saul, and then on a big raving note.
Got it. Did we talk about the Mario movie in the last month's podcast? And I don't mean the Owl House one.
Right.
Man, I don't recall personally.
I mean, I don't mind talking about it if you.
Yeah, because I know me and you talked about it with a bunch of friends on Discord, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Did you watch the Mario movie?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh, okay. What'd you think? about
Um,
that? I want to know your opinion.
I think that it
What are you
was,
talking about?
from a marketing perspective, in quotation marks, perfect. Like,
Okay.
from that perspective, perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I
did what it
think
needed to do.
it did what it needed to do. It's a children's film, and damn it, it told a story that was comprehensive and entertaining for the duration of the film. So, yeah, it did what it's supposed to do.
What a review. It did what a movie you would think a movie would do, and that was
And
the
it did
movie.
it. That was the movie. I liked it. I did like it. I think that, like, I'm saying all of that with the perspective that it is intended for children much younger than me.
Absolutely, it is not for us.
And I think that that's like a really important part, because
Super is.
some of the people who review this movie are like taking it to task for being too surface level, not
Yeah, that
digging
was
in enough.
what was that one review? It's this old man. I don't know how old he is, but he sounds old in the review because he's like,
There we go.
for those who don't know who Bowser is, it's like this one character, and I forget the fucking name, from this old ass puppet show that was black and white, or like from the fucking 70s or something, half a century ago.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the fuck, who's your fucking audience for gonna read the Mario movie review?
Me, I'm the audience.
Are you writing your
for
thing
me.
so that other 60 to 50 to like 70-year-olds like, yeah, maybe I will watch the Mario movie without my grandkids? Fucking what is this?
Ooh, well, I did like old Slappy's puppet art. That sounds swell.
Fucking, it's got, it's that moment of like, I know this can't get it, but you want to shake him by the shoulders and go, "You're old, man! Like, you're out of touch with reality. You don't."
No, it's not me.
It's not me. It's the children. It's the children.
It's the children.
But yeah, no, it's a really good kids movie.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Well, I think that the voice choice was the right one. Having
Chris
watched it.
Pratt was better in this than I thought he would be, and I know they re-recorded it from the commercials, so like our trailers.
Yeah.
So it sounded better. Not
Yes.
perfect. I still would have loved Charles Martinet as like the thing,
Mhm.
which he does show up in.
Twice.
Yeah. Charlie Day's voice was great for Luigi.
Perfect. Yeah,
I agree.
Keegan-Michael Key. I know I had a friend of mine who says Toad's voice was so annoying. I'm like, one, Toad's voice is always supposed to be annoying. That's what makes it great.
Yep.
Two, he's the only one doing voice acting, like changing his voice.
Yeah.
For it, it's the most drastic out of anyone in that movie. Like if you hadn't told me that was Keegan-Michael Key, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, without knowing ahead of time.
Like, Jack Black is just doing a monster version of Jack Black. He's giving
the best performance probably. Like or he's so charismatic, that Bowser, that every time Bowser's on screen, it's like the only thing you want to. He can steal the show from anyone else.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Bowser's like the most charismatic character in that entire film.
I get the sense that here's what I will say. I think that the way that they ended up redirecting the voices, the final project we get, these actors are at least committed to the characters that they're doing.
Oh yeah, Princess Peach is really good.
Yeah,
and even one of the better characters in that movie, like, because she's so she has so much agency, like compared to everyone else. Where Mario, it is kind of just happening to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Charlie Day too. Although Charlie Day doesn't, Luigi's character doesn't get much like chances to do stuff.
No, he's kidnapped for a lot of it.
But they literally put him in a cage. Like
they put him in a cage. Yes.
I like that Starry's lines. I know it's kind of like a little bit of a cheap joke to do the cute thing, says
grim stuff,
says existential or nihilistic lines, but they were some pretty good lines.
Pretty good lines.
Like, and I think they did it the right way. They go pretty far with with those lines to the point where I'm even like, yeah, Yeah, man.
That's how it is on this bitch of an earth.
I feel that shit. And ballsy to tell kids of like the movie's over, and isn't that sad? Isn't that like
how everything will
how
end?
everything ends? I was like, that's pretty good. So some of the jokes do hit home. Not a lot, but again, they're meant for children. It's meant for children.
Yeah.
And then, which I know that's not an excuse or anything, but you also have to keep in mind like who your audience, who they're writing for, right?
Yeah.
So it's not meant for like us. It could still be a great movie like Lego Movie.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's their target audience. You're catering to them for that. And like I mean, okay, so back to voice acting. Seth Rogen's just doing Seth Rogen.
Yes.
And he gets the one line. Although I think he has my favorite joke in that entire movie. Yeah, and I think I told you once, it was like they're trapped in that god awful eel from Mario 64, which I thought was a great reference. But like, and you think the one moment they're gonna have a character building, like, or a more introspective moment for any of these characters, because there's none of that shit.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah, I have hard relationship with my parents too and their expectations. Donkey Kong just goes, yeah, they should be ashamed of you. You fuck it, and like, oh, it's good, good. You know what? If we're gonna lean into it, right? Like,
yeah.
I was like, I can appreciate that. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's beautifully animated. The music, I actually really dug the OST a lot.
I wanted to ask y'all both about the soundtrack a little bit, because I know people were kind of bummed out by some of the choices. They said the phrase random was thrown around a lot with some of the music choices. I disagree. I think that there's a very clear logic. It's not necessarily one, maybe it's not the choice we all would have made, but like you can see the logic of basically all the record drops are like 80s references because it's from the 80s. Get it?
And they're the most popular songs in the 80s. I will say that like, my complaint isn't random. My complaint is that they're so jarring when they happen.
Yeah.
That it took me out of the movie, especially for how much I was digging the original stuff.
Yes.
I was like, this is working. This is actually like whoever put this together was thinking about like the gravity of those songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best written music just ever. But yeah. Okay, so I mean, like, if we're gonna get into why I'm probably not gonna watch this movie again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of moments where like, okay, we got to move the plot forward, and you can tell they're like skipping lines of dialogue, or it feels like that. They're just okay, and then we say this because then it moves to the next scene.
Yeah,
not because that's what they would naturally say.
This movie doesn't want to slow down a single minute.
Sure doesn't.
No.
Everything is like it happens. It goes.
Yeah.
Type deal. And there's a lot of that. Just like, all right, no time to, say what these characters would logically go with. It's time to move the plot forward. It's time to move to the next scene and go, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this type deal.
Well, and I mean, like, if that's and then another thing that I think is kind of interesting, like people talking about like the old people. Let's say I'm now referring to the critics.
Yeah,
those boomers. The argument that like, what's the point of them? Like, that is to say, the message or the theme or the idea. It's mostly just like, teamwork is good, and it's not more than that. But also, again,
brotherly love, big one.
Keep trying. Like, failure doesn't mean
keep trying. Yeah, failure doesn't mean like, as long as you keep going at it, you will get better.
Yeah.
Even though there's weird moments that counteract, like, literally, he finds like a power up that like makes
that gives an infinite ability.
It gives him the infinite ability. And I don't know. Yeah, the family one was the weirdest message because it's like, now weird. He has a job.
Yeah.
So now he can't be nice.
Well, the family thing was weird because, like, I thought the whole lore was like he was raised by the Yoshis,
Right?
him and Luigi on the Yoshi's Island.
No, not in this movie, Nick.
But
In this movie, we're keeping Yoshi's in the back pocket for the sequel.
Yeah. I guess spoilers for the after credits, but did you guys also feel kind of betrayed that it's a Yoshi
yeah,
in
I
the
thought it was Wario
because
or
they show
Waluigi.
Yoshis in the movie?
Yeah. We know Yoshi's.
So
Well,
here was
they're
my oh, go ahead.
they're teasing the idea of like a
A
main
thing you see in the
character,
movie.
a main character TM Yoshi.
Yeah, but you see Yoshi's earlier, and you could just assume that Yoshi will come by next time. Why?
Yeah.
Why would that be the teaser? Because I guess the Yoshi, but like,
And it's the one that he's gonna be. It's the one that he's gonna raise, presumably. I guess.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I agree. I kind of was looking forward to a Wario Waluigi.
Here's the thing, though. Here's how I guessed that it wasn't going to be that.
Yeah.
It's because if it was Wario and Waluigi, I would have heard about it on the internet way before watching that movie.
I'm plugged into
And
the
I got
wall.
nothing.
Wario Brothers.
Yeah. And I heard nothing, so I assumed it wasn't going to be them.
Okay.
That was my reason logic.
I have
Yeah.
I have a quick throwaway comment about that I just had to add in because I just thought of this as mentioning Wario. I remember you remember John Leguizamo being like super down on the movie, like
Yeah.
not really supporting it, saying that it's not diverse enough.
Yeah.
Well, he's now apparently changed his position when Nintendo offered him a position. We're interested in having you in the next one.
That's right.
Oh, great, cool. We're all good then, I guess, because John has a job. But
yeah, because he has a job now.
Yep.
And
Yep. I just thought that was so fun. Well, and then I immediately thought, make him Wario. Make him be one of the Wario
Make him
brothers.
Wario or Waluigi. Can he do a Wario voice? Can John Leguizamo?
I don't know.
Because it needs to be very specific, man.
Nasal? I mean, I'm sure he can do nasal.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, see, it's gotta be that. It's gotta be the little gangster, like someone doing impression of a 1920s gangster.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, see, it's gonna be.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fuck. I forget what I was gonna. I mean, other than that, yeah, there's a lot of cool references in there, but I mean, like, that's not what I'm gonna. It's very nice that they happen. But, you know, I'm gonna judge the merit of the movie.
I clapped when I saw it.
I clapped when I saw it. I did. I remember going when that eel show, going, "Oh, it's that fucking eel." That horrible looking. I'm glad they made him look horrible.
That godless bean.
No, it's cool. Yeah. It's 7 out of 10. If I had to do some fucking arbitrary number, 6 maybe, 7.
Now I've got a list of entrees for you, gentlemen. I want to ask you, which one do you think is the next one Nintendo does? Do you think
besides like another Mario movie?
Eternal
they're
Darkness.
definitely going to do another Mario
Eternal
movie.
Darkness.
They're definitely going to do a Donkey Kong. Like
Sin and Punishment 2.
Because
The Punishment. Yeah, there you go.
You think it's going to be a Donkey Kong?
Oh, I have no doubt they're going to do a Donkey Kong movie.
I mean, I think they're going to be in the next movie because they're in that crowd.
Right, but I think Donkey Kong as a property already, like they had a show, they had their own games. I think that they've got legs to stand on.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna Hulk Donkey Kong, you know, these better as a side character.
Okay.
Deal.
I
don't know what other property
Luigi
it would be.
Give him his own like main.
I mean, a Luigi's Mansion movie is like that's what I would want, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't? I think that's in the cards now. I think given how good it did, Illumination is going to be like, we need to franchise now. We need to do
like spread out, not just Mario 2 or whatever it's gonna be.
Exactly. We need a Mario series. We need at least 3 series that are all Nintendo properties.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine them doing it.
I feel like a Punch-Out movie would be perfect.
Oh,
because you just have to make a Rocky or Creed movie. However, all those characters are crazy stereotypes. So
Yes, they are.
it's the whole gimmick. So I have
Especially
no
the gorilla.
fucking clue how they would navigate that.
They'd let the Mike Tyson mystery team write. For
Oh,
that
that's
movie.
probably a good way. Yeah, right.
Maybe like show that gorillas don't always throw barrels. They also have feelings and struggles. Because the worst thing it's bad enough when a crowd like
Nick, I'm talking
riots
about
at your
like
studio,
Honda.
but if you get like gorillas to fight the Illumination studio.
Yeah. I'm talking about like Honda and
yeah.
what's it? The guy who's supposed to be Middle Eastern or Arabic, and he can create clones of himself and summon a tiger, and that's like.
Oh, is there a dude like that? I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bengal. Yeah,
Oh, Ian, Sweet Summer Child.
they're
There
all
is
stereotypes. I love
Soda
it, but
Popininsky was supposed to be Vodkaninsky,
yeah,
and like
Oh.
the Canadian one can probably keep.
the French
Maple
one.
The
syrup,
French
Bounty
one
Boy.
can probably keep.
Chris, I'm
What?
sorry. I think the French one went too far.
Glass
Well,
Joe.
Glass Joe went too far.
No, Glass Joe's in there. He's got to be the first one.
That's
Yeah,
right.
same with Disco.
Disco? Is there a
Oh,
disco?
Kid
dude?
Disco.
Kid Disco.
I think you can make him work.
Yeah, you can totally make him work. It's amazing.
People
I
like
think
disco.
the way
I love his design.
the Wii design took it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think all the I guess in terms of stereotypes, the second one's probably not that great or will age the least.
Oh, age like fine milk.
Yeah, especially the Bruce
crazy.
Lee one.
That's not time out. You like
Yeah. No, but I'm also like thinking with you, like what can work.
Mike Tyson's got to be in that movie.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Oh, here's the thing: Mike Tyson's character can never lose though, because it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, same man.
He wouldn't allow that to happen.
No.
Unless he really dug that game.
Yeah.
That he was in.
He was in a commercial.
Yeah, maybe he would allow Little Mac to win, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of that scene from Hitman. Hitman 3, where it has to be a standstill. I'm like,
Wait, you guys, have you seen the entertainment wrestling sketch that I Think You Should Leave did?
No.
Oh.
Wait, is the new I Think You Should Leave out?
I think it has just recently come out.
Because I know Documentary Now came back, and that's fucking wild. I gotta watch
Ooh, so season 4 or 5 on Documentary Now? 3.
Season 3.
I gotta check that out.
Oh, I got it. Me too. Yeah. So no, I haven't seen the wrestling thing, but yeah, Mario movie. All right. Did exactly what it needs to do.
Look good.
All right.
Good movie. Good movie. Other than that, man, yeah, it's just work. It's just work. I don't have too much. I've been playing not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Dude, how is it?
That is addiction, is what that is. It's so big. Like, that game is okay. Do you remember how I talked about like Elden Ring last year?
Yeah.
And this is my game of the year because I love Dark Souls, and it was just the biggest Dark Souls, and it was probably the biggest game I had ever played. I think Tears of the Kingdom is bigger than that.
What?
I agree. Way bigger.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of slightly spoiler something.
Okay.
So in Breath of the Wild, the map, the world map. For that, you could learn that very well, and that's in the game. It's just been redone with different surface stuff, and all these other ways to traverse it and everything. So it's that map. Okay. So that's already fucking huge.
Yes.
Not as big as Elden Ring, though. You remember that moment in Elden Ring where I'm like, I don't know how big this game is, because like the map, it does that great thing of like you find a new area and the map gets a little bit bigger,
right?
Just to fit whatever you learn, and a little bit bigger, and then you finally get the whole continent. And then you find an elevator in the forest, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it's a really long scene to find out there's an entire underground area that's almost as big as that surface map.
Mm.
Okay, so you already know there's a equivalent in Tears of the Kingdom because you start in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, well, there's a sky map. Now,
Yeah.
granted, not every surface is as big as the regular map, but you're like, still, that's a lot to explore because that's 2 planes, right?
Right.
And then you find out about the Dark World.
Oh my god.
And you're like, what is that? Well, you go down a hole, and it goes, and it goes, and the underground is, I think, as big as the surface.
Dude.
So that's 3 layers of
Dude.
world. And it's like this moment of I don't know if I can beat this game this year. I have so much work to do. And like I shouldn't be. Every time I'm playing it, I'm like enjoying myself. I also like I know I'm delaying the inevitable. Just I'm gonna have to finish stuff.
Right.
Yo, that game's great, and I'm not even talking about all the bullshit you can do with like the Koroks and treat them badly. And like I've done the thing where you crucify them and take them on a cart, like a old timey missionary traveling the world, just abusing the hell out of them, sending them on rockets into the sky. That game's great. It's great. Hot take. It's great.
Hot take. It is good. I have
Big
to play,
ass game.
I don't think I had said this on the record, but
Yeah.
I'll say it here now. But I had been having a discussion about whether or not to get a Nintendo that could connect to the television. We got one, but it doesn't do TV. It's just the handheld version.
Oh, you have the Switch without the dock?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the dock's luckily cheap, like cheaper.
So, can I get like
You
my
just buy the
Switch-
dock, yeah.
I could just buy the dock? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Absolutely. I think it only costs like 30 to 50.
I might get a cat and a video game, guys. Good news. Skipping ahead to the end of that.
Well, here's the thing. Do you know how much Tears of the Kingdom costs?
It's like $70.
It's a $70 game.
Fuck.
That's so fucking expensive, dude, for a game.
a chunk.
I mean, granted, this is one of the few that I'm like, yeah, that's worth $70.
It sounds
there's
like
a lot
it's
of...
a lot.
Oh, go ahead.
It sounds like it's a lot of material you're getting.
It's a lot of game. It's a big game, especially for you, because I know you don't play games too often, and like,
yeah,
you don't do long sessions.
No,
So it's gonna
I'll-
last you, Ian, like a long time.
Like,
for $70.
imagine me dipping in 2 hours at a time, and that's basically.
I mean, that's kind of what I gotta kind of do now. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, that will last you a long ass time. Which is a lot more than I can say for a lot of $70 games that have been coming out recently. That I'm like, don't fucking buy that. What are you talking about? $70? That's a lot of fucking money. Like,
that's kind of become a new standard in the industry, as I hear.
it's trying to be. We're in that weird period where they're trying it out, and I gotta say, I'm not into it.
Mhm.
I feel like that's gonna be a breaking point for a lot of people, especially with the way inflation's going right now.
It may be pricing out a part of their market potentially.
I would argue it is because I'm not buying.
Yeah.
Like, and I got a lot more other problems I can go into for how video games are going today and nuances, like file size even. But it's not a conversation for right now. But
Okay.
yeah, man, that's the only one I can say I think is worth $70.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good game.
Nice.
It's so stupidly big. It's so intimidating. I don't know. Like, it's great. I'm having a blast. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much. That's all I got. Anything else, you guys, or should we close it out here? Should we say that's a podcast?
I think that's a darn good sized podcast. We could do our looking aheads.
Yeah,
if
you
you want.
want to do that, Nick?
Yep, let's do that.
All right, Ian, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
I remain excited. I just got to see a scene from Asteroid City by Wes Anderson.
Okay.
It's a full-blown sci-fi, dudes. It's a full-blown like camp 1950s style. Like,
Yeah.
I've devised my own death ray. Why? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. I'm so sure Jeff Goldblum's from outer space. This one, I'm positive this is an Earth Girls Are Easy reference. Yeah, really looking forward to
Looking
that,
forward to that one.
guys.
How about you, Nick? What are you looking forward to?
Okay, so there's two things.
Okay.
One is being able to, for the love of God, finish Legacy Collection Volume 1 and 2 for Battle Network Mega Man.
Oh God, yeah.
It's just
Are you
taking
gonna
me
do
so
all
long.
of them?
Yeah. So because of that, I'm starting on. I started on the first game, and the first two games are insanely tedious, so they actually going to take the longest because of it.
Yeah, the first two I heard are like the roughest because they haven't quite figured out the system.
But 3
Because
is
it's a
like
rather
everything.
brand new way of combat. Like at the
Oh
time.
yeah.
What's the change that they've done?
So at the time because these are like ports of older GBA games, Game Boy Advance games. It's what is it? 6x3 grid.
Yeah.
And you only everyone gets 3x3 of those squares, and you can move around your character in those squares, sort of like a tile space. What is a tile space? And then you load up command moves that your character is gonna do on a certain timer while you're moving. So it's like that, and it's kind of weird. The only thing I can compare it to is sort of like ATB gauges from like FF7.
Okay.
But you're moving on a grid type deal where you load up the attacks and they're gonna happen. So you still got a movement space. So it's like a rather new way of combat in that game. And from what I remember and what from people told me too is like they don't really figure that out until 3. And then they get weird with it. Like get experimental. Luckily there's like was it 6 iterations, and that's not including the different colors like Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Right, Nick? There's 6.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
The 6 different things are like reskins, or are they completely
No, they're new
different?
games.
Oh, okay.
They're new games. It's like Pokemon Red, Pokemon like it is sort of like Pokemon, even though people won't say it is, but kind of.
Well, it's closer to Chain of Memories. I mean, it's a card game essentially.
Yeah, it is. But it's so much better than Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories for Game Boy sucks, dude.
I agree. Oh, dude, it's unplayable.
I hate it so much. That made me really sour on that like franchise like game for a while.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead. So that's what you want to. That's what you're trying to finish.
Yeah, in terms of game, just making time for it. But what I'm also looking forward to, and Chris, I'm really looking forward to your reaction to this because I know you'd be interested.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about before that Disco Elysium needs a documentary on current events. Well, it turns out there is a documentary that just came out about the current events and situation of ZAUM. Of the studio and what's been happening. The opening scene is literally the journalists in the courtroom watching the decision be made for the studio for ownership.
Yeah.
And then it's everything that leads after it. And it's just, they're in Estonia, they're interviewing everyone. I'm so excited to check it out.
What's it called? What's the doc called?
Yeah, what's the doc?
Investigation, Who's Telling the Truth About Disco Elysium by People Make Games.
Oh, People Make Games. Okay. They do get, because I was wondering who's making it, who's the party. That's like, they make good documentaries. They made that really good one on Roblox.
Yeah.
That was like the exploitive nature towards children on Roblox.
Well, all the kids I work with, they are fiends for it.
You should watch that documentary, dude. It's a real, the one on Roblox, like, that really makes you scared. Like, it really does. Okay, I will check that out for sure because people know I still haven't finished it. Dude, Disco Elysium. That's one I'm gonna have to go back and finish, even though I'm really far. It's just whenever I play it, it's like that's 6 hours,
right?
Like gone, like because I love that game so much. So for those who don't know, but I feel like I say this shit all the time. Disco Elysium is by far the best writing in any game I've ever experienced. It's something to experience. And it's by far the best writing in any game. Like, I don't even think anything compares to at least my take. The only one I can think of is I like the writing for Adios quite a bit. That's a more narrative game, but yeah, Disco Elysium's just so far on another level, and the reason it works too is because none of those dudes were, except for like the programmer, had ever made games before. Really? It was an art collective in Estonia, and they're kind of all on the outskirts of, like, it's gonna sound so pretend, like outskirts of society and so, but they kind of are, because like Estonia is experiencing its third slip into fascism in terms of government, and like it's this art collective of like anarchists, different kinds of like political, and it's, oh my god, it's such a good fucking game. It's hilarious. It takes the piss out of everything. You get to play a game as like a fuck up, like just a garbage person.
Yep.
Not an evil man, unless you make him evil.
Yeah.
But just a garbage human being.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend that game to anyone, especially if you have to sail the high seas to get it.
Yeah,
because I don't think they see the money for that. Even though I think it's like, if you buy it, you buy it. But sail the high seas if you want a different outlet for that. I don't know how that works.
But a true Elysium experience,
Not saying how you should do it, just saying that the option is there.
It's out there.
There is an option. Although I think the game now is only like $20.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's fantastic. Ian, have you? Because I know I've told you this game like a bunch of times.
I've actually sat down and like gone through a little bit of Disco. I've not played it.
Okay. So do you have the game?
No, I don't have a hard copy of the game.
Okay. If I buy you a hard copy, will you play it?
I'll play it very slowly, but yeah, I'd play it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you play it. Like, I need more people to play this goddamn fucking game.
Yeah, I'd have to play it on not my computer though, which is fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. Do you have a PS4?
No, the only thing I've got is I've got a Chromebook and I've got a Nintendo.
That'll do.
Hang on. Isn't it on Switch? Am I crazy? Let me see.
Oh, is it?
I actually don't know.
I actually don't know either.
That's a good question.
Oh wait, no, that is not that.
It's coming up yes for me. The final cut.
Up, yes. Okay, so I might end up getting that for you.
The final cut
as a birthday gift. We'll see.
Oh,
I once bought Tetris Effect for someone just so they could play.
Me?
That game is so fun, dude. That game...
Oh yeah.
One of my favorites.
One of my favorites too. So it's like one of those things that's a video game. It's fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Nick, was there another thing you were looking forward to, or?
No, those are just the ones I wanted to highlight.
Got it. Okay. I mean, a lot of TV shows I gotta watch. Better Call Saul, of course. Documentary now. I Think You Should Leave's new season's coming out soon. Barry, I gotta finish because that first episode was so good.
Nick, I think Barry is also a good part to have in the conversation if we're going to talk about Breaking Bad and Better. Like, there's so much kind of overlap as far as theme.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know once we all catch up. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I'll say once we all catch up, we definitely have that
Yeah. I know Nick started Reservation Dogs.
Dude, that's such a good show.
Yeah, I was like 5 episodes in. I gotta get back on.
Yeah, that's the show I felt bad because I felt like I hate doing the hyperbole thing for people of like, I think this is the best show on television right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what Nick thinks. What else am I looking forward to? Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse comes out like this fucking week.
Yep.
Yes.
Ain't that crazy?
Hell yeah.
Super looking forward to that. That was I usually know a movie's going to be part of like my favorite movies of all time, depending on how many times I see it in theaters. Because as we all know, Chris hates going to the movies, and he waits for stuff. Into the Spider-Verse was one of those movies that I watched 4 times in like the movie theaters.
Fuck.
because I couldn't stop watching it. I thought it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
The only one before that I think was Fury Road,
which was excellent.
which I think Fury Road's like in my top 10 movies of all time, like, or for me.
If Fury Road doesn't have a Criterion release yet, it deserves.
It fucking should.
Yeah,
should have already.
Man. It's fucking so just almost perfectly shot movie. And then he made 4,000 Years of Longing, whatever.
Yes.
And the more I look back on that movie and further away, the more I'm like, I don't think I like that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. There's certain things I like, and then there's certain things I just don't like.
Okay.
If you ever watch the movie, I feel like Ian, you would like it.
Okay.
Or a lot of things that bug me would bug you too.
That's we have pretty similar tastes. That could...
Yeah.
Is that one on HBO now?
Oh, I feel like it is. It's either that or Amazon.
Because well, then I have no excuse. So I'll find it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, other than playing more video games in my very few spare time.
I'll add one last thing to you both and to everybody listening. Please, you can watch the first hour of Clone High on Max now, and
or through other means, but I won't say what.
Yeah, however, and then they're gonna start releasing the rest of the series starting June 1st. And guys, it's so funny, and it's the exact same two creators of Across the Spider-Verse who are writing this and doing the directing, the voice acting.
And you can see like their early them busting their cutting their teeth.
Yes.
For like visual comedy.
Yes. Yes.
You can tell they're very much cutting their teeth. Because some stuff works and some stuff is like really funny. But, like, it's a good one. That's a good one to see their past work. And captures a moment in time.
Oh, well, dude, so if you want, I can mention like the beginning of season 2 directly addresses like, hey, the taste in comedy has changed somewhat since 2003.
Yeah. I remember that. It's a comedy from 2003, so there's going to be some stuff. Yeah.
But season 2 is
but it's better than
really
most shit that was out at the time.
By miles.
Yeah, by like a lot. Man, 2000 even though I like grew up around that time, and a lot of 2000 comedies just fucking garbage. Like like oversaturation, and most of it was bad.
And it was most people taking away the lesson that what people wanted in adult comedy was just adult stuff animated.
Yeah.
Which isn't quite it.
No.
You know?
But yeah, Clone High.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it. That's a podcast.
And there you are. You're welcome, everyone.
You're welcome for this for this gift. Oh, lucky you. Oh man, how I wish I was in your position. I would love to know me and listen to me talk.
Why I only got to speak it, I don't get to enjoy the beauty of hearing these words for the very first time. Oh, to be you.
All right, bye.
I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, your first plan should be getting by us.
Though you call yourselves bladers, you don't know the real truth about bay blading. There is a tremendous power hidden within bays. Since ancient times, the existence of bays can be found in moments throughout history. The power of Beyblades have been used to change the course of rivers and oceans. They have been used to defeat many armies and create huge empires.
You wouldn't be so tough without that helmet, little brother.
You're on, Proto Man.
Plasma power!
Missed me again, number one, son.
But I won't miss this time.
Oh no! He's gonna blast President Lincoln!
risk yourself for Mr. Lincoln.
Simpson scandal update. Homer sleeps nude in an oxygen tent, which he believes gives him sexual powers.
Hey, that's a half-truth.
Shara, will you grant me one more wish? I wish for a mountain of handkerchiefs. Now, just let yourself cry, as much as you need to. You'll have plenty of handkerchiefs to help you through it.
Well, sir, treason season started early this year as a nuclear sub was hijacked by local man Homer Simpson.
Oh my god! I told him that photo would come back to haunt him.
Could Homer Simpson be a communist? His father spoke out on his behalf.
My Homer is not a communist. He may be a liar, a pig, an idiot, a communist, but he is not a porn star.
Hero call! This trap card lets me pick a monster and put him on the top of my deck. And I choose this. Elemental Hero, Neos. Not so fast. Thanks to my state select spell, he won't be there for long. Because now I get to shuffle your deck. So how do you like this? Bada bing! I'll shuffle these boys real good.
でも先輩結構みんなに優しいじゃん。なんか声かけてくれたりとか。でも香水もらったらなんかわかんないくれるって。嘘好きすぎるのすっごい恥ずかしい。明日バイトなんだけど。いつでもそこに。マジで
Iris!
Sarah.
Hang in there, Iris.
Please, stay away from Replophos. Let's live together. In a world where only Reploids exist.
Iris, there's no world just for Reploid. It's only a fantasy.
Yes, I know, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to live in a world where only Reploids exist with you.
Iris! 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 Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What am I fighting for?
Now it's time for the Pizza Head Show.
Hey, everybody! I'm done trick-or-treating, and now I'm gonna go for a stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut. Yay!
Not yet, Pizza Head. There's one more place to go.
I don't think anyone's home.
Sure there is.
Hello, trick-or-treat! Interesting hieroglyphics on this pizza.
Quick, Pizza Head, let's go upstairs.
Hey, who is here anyway?
It's your host, Count Steve.
Oh, nice place. You gotta... I wanna go to Pizza Hut now!
The Count will be happy to give you a lift.
Hey, put me down! Put me down!
See you next time.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match, a cigarette, and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Will you hold it down out there? You guys are always fighting!
Enid Clinton, we've got business with your husband. What? John? Hal Jordan, another time shift. I'm up to speed. Carry on. No booby traps. At least none that my ring can detect.
Make up your mind, would you?
뭐냐?
Have you noticed any change in Bart?
New glasses?
No, he looks like something might be disturbing him.
Probably misses his old glasses.
I guess we could get more involved in Bart's activities, but then I'd be afraid of smothering him.
Yeah, and then we'd get the chair.
That's not what I meant.
It was, Marge, admit it.
What's so special about Splinter?
Yo, dude, it's like Splinter's our dad, you know? I mean, what's so special about your dad?
Pepsi for TV game.
Mmm, 64 slices of American cheese. 64. 63. 2. 1.
Have you been up all night eating cheese?
I think I'm blind.
Good day to you.
My mother risked her life for me, and now you too. I should have saved you. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
You
chase you to the ends of the earth!
I defeated you once, and I shall do it again!
No, Magneto. I let you win before, in order to learn your plan, to trap you. But now the victory belongs to the Fantastic Four.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power? No mere weapon can stop me. With but a gesture, I can destroy it, or turn it against you. Behold! I'll make it leap from your hand, and make you its target. Now!
Not this time, Magneto. This time I'm fighting for real.
It's impossible! It cannot be! Nothing can defy my magnetic power!
The Fantastic Four can. You're finished, Magneto. Surrender. You have no other choice.
Why? Why will the gun not obey me? My power is gone. I'm helpless. Magnetism. It was my greatest weapon.
Okay, Richards. We'll take care of him now.
First tell me, how did you do it? How did you take away my power?
I didn't, Magneto. I merely tricked you.
You lie. I couldn't control your gun. You made me lose my magnetism.
You're wrong. I just guessed that you'd overlook one simple thing. Your magnetic power only works on metal, like all magnets. But my gun isn't real. I made it out of wood, specially to fool you.
Wood? A wooden gun?
That's why your power didn't work. And it's why you're a prisoner of the police now. Take him away, man.
A wooden gun. He tricked me with a wooden gun.
We can't bust heads like we used to, but we have our ways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got it.
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville. I needed a new heel for my shoe. So, I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they called Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now, to take the ferry cost a nickel, and in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time. They didn't have white onions because of the war. The only thing you could get was those big yellow ones.
Eric!